What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. We are here again this Monday night with Brandon and David, who are sharing a screen today. We're here to talk about all kinds of stuff Corvette related, whether it is ownership, experiences, maintenance items, rumors, whatever you may consider Corvette stuff, you'll find it here. If it's got anything to do with Corvettes, it is here. I mean, look at these guys. Look at their shirts. Both of them wearing Corvette shirts. I love it.
Do you have a Corvette shirt?
Yeah, standard shirt.
We didn't even plan that, actually.
I'm gonna say it's just the way it works. When you're a Corvette guy, it's just the way it works. So anyway, guys, as usual, for this month at least, Wheelcraft is the sponsor of the channel for the month, and because of that, we actually have another Wheelcraft giveaway. If you guys can think about the giveaways we've had in the past here for this month, we started out with a $200 gift certificate, then a $400 gift certificate. Guess what tonight is?
600.
I think it is 600. Let me actually verify it real quick, because I should have done this before I got on here and I totally forgot about it. But
You have that.
6 sets of wheels.
yeah, all right. Well, let me see. Maybe it is a free set of wheels. No, I know it's not that, but let's see. So 2, 4. Hey, tonight's 600. Who would have thought? All right. So $600 gift certificate from Wheelcraft is the giveaway for tonight, guys. We've done 2 giveaways now with Wheelcraft, and they seem to be pretty popular. I was actually pretty surprised at how many of you guys want powder coating or PVD finishes on your wheels. Now, here's the other thing, and I know I've mentioned this in the past. It doesn't have to just be your wheels. It can be anything that's metal. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be wheels. If you have a metal X-brace or throttle bodies that you want to try to cover with this PVD finish, or exhaust tips, this guy might be doing that. And when it comes down to it, if it's metal, they can coat it with the PVD finish, and they can do pretty much any color you want. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more with Wheelcraft in the future here, so stay tuned for that. But I am most likely having some exhaust tips covered with their PVD coating to see how it holds up to heat and, you know, all that stuff. So if you're interested, tonight is going to be very different. We're going to have the members who get the free entries. And I'm not going to have you do it yet, so don't type in 1 in the chat yet. I will have you do that here shortly, though. We're going to get you the free entries for the members tonight. Every $10 is an entry to the Venmo as usual. $50 or more is double entries. But on my website, we're gonna exclude t-shirts this time. It's going to be only key tags. Every key tag you buy, which is only $10, is going to be 5 entries, just tonight only. So if you buy a key tag for $10, you're getting 5 entries. That is the equivalent of buying basically would be $50 worth of items if the double entries didn't count for 50 plus. So 5 entries per key tag. So if you buy a couple key tags, you're getting in for way cheaper than you would normally get in for. So check that out. If you don't want to do that, every $10 is a normal entry. Or, of course, I'm going to have you guys type the number 1 in the chat in a little bit here to make sure everybody gets entered. So, yeah.
I like that, man. Because I mean, if you're gonna give $10 for a giveaway anyway, you may as well get something from it. You know what I mean?
100%.
That's freaking awesome, dude. And I have one of your key tags on every, like my Ford truck has one on it, and like everything has a key tag on it. I know. And speaking of comments, do I get my one since I'm here with Brandon? And
you do.
We're only logged into 1 comment.
You are definitely going to get
and that goes for, if you guys have a comment for me or a question for me, I'm not seeing comments. Brandon's on comment duty tonight.
So
I'm going to be speaking for David.
Oh, God.
As of right now, there are no entries on this. Usually we come into this with at least 1 entry, and it's usually Jay. But tonight he did not get entered early, so right now we have none. So like I said, guys, Venmo, the link is pasted at the top of the chat here if you want to do it the old-fashioned way. Every $10 is entry, $50 is double entries. So if you don't want to do the key tag thing, you can do it that way. So we'll start it off here. It looks like Kevin Horan's in there. So Kevin Horan gets his free one. Brandon and David. I'll count you in there, even though you're not typing 1 in the chat. Chris. And of course, guys, if you want to do something more than just your free entry, you can always grab a key tag or send something through the Venmo. That'll get you a little bit a little bit more likely to win. And of course, we got Nate on here getting his free entry.
Yep.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Oh man, Nate,
Oh,
I don't know why. You're so fun to
I
give.
see Sam. I see Sam in here too. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, Sam.
Yep, Sam is in here.
Yep.
Bill Miller. What's up, Bill? Trying to get all these free ones put in here real quick before we start talking about the news. We do have some C8 stuff to talk about tonight. C8 ZR1 specifically.
Yeah. Well, and while you're typing those in real quick, I keep forgetting to say this, guys. The E5 wheels thing that I won like months ago, like I tried to give it away to somebody and they decided they didn't want it. If you're interested in that, I'm just giving it away. Just email me at dbmracing2019@gmail.com. I'm just whoever I'm giving it away. So
Free money.
free money. And who else is in here?
We got
Steve's
Kevin's
in
here.
here. Kevin, I'm glad you got your solution worked out. Solar is good people, man. They'll take care of you, but I'm glad you got that problem worked out, buddy. That's awesome.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask about that. I had talked to Joe, and he told me that the issue was taken care of. But apparently, just to throw it out there, apparently there was 3 sets that were sent out in mistake, basically, that weren't fully tested, basically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they had found 2 of them, and
Kevin found the third one.
Kevin found the 3rd one. And it's interesting because over this weekend, I just did an install on Bill Miller's Z06. We helped install his 91 millimeter throttle bodies. And of course, his started right up, no problem at all. So definitely interesting.
Well, they're good people. I'm glad they got.
Yeah.
Like, he got a hold of them and they fixed it. But yeah, they're good people. So.
Yeah, they'll take care of you.
Yeah, they will. I mean, I felt honored. I got an email from the Grand Poobah himself.
Lucky me, he says. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so guys, looks like we got one order in. Let me see. One order in for a key tag, so someone's getting 5 entries for $10.
I have an extra one too.
That's Jamie.
I have an extra one if you want.
Key tag?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll probably.
Ooh, what's this now?
My fob.
Yep.
Looks like Jamie actually ordered 3 of them. Good Lord. So Jamie's in right now for 15 entries.
Oh dang.
That's
a deal for $600 off.
Yes, it is.
That is a real good deal.
So we got Jamie in for 15. He ordered 3 key tags, and Richard ordered 1 key tag. So he's in for 5.
Did we decide what day we're doing the HPO takeover at the bash with the t-shirts yet?
I think we're going to
Did
do
we
Friday.
finalize that? Friday was the day? Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking Saturday initially, but I think Friday is going to be the better option. And I'm still working on customizing that t-shirt. I was actually talking with Joe Lamb today about making this thing look as cool as possible. So well, I think we're going to have something that you guys are really going to want. And I'm going to start with the sales of these shirts here very soon, because what we're going to do is, of course, make it where if you're buying the shirt, you're getting a bunch of entries for that particular month's giveaway, but you're also going to be able to wear that shirt for the HPO takeover on Friday at the bash. So we're going to have all kinds of stuff going on with that. The shirt's going to have like a Corvette sitting in front of the National Corvette Museum on the front, and then maybe on the back.
That's the one you sent me.
Yeah, maybe on the back
that looks
or
really good.
Somewhere on the front as well. I'm going to also have David's channel icon, Brand's channel icon, and Racing Sport Concepts, because that's where we're going to be parked. We're all going to be parked with the Racing Sport Concepts booth. So lots of really cool stuff happening for the bash, guys. It's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, there is. And then on Saturday, we're going to take some time to do some racing at the track. Corey from Paragon has agreed to best of 3 for roll racing, best of 3 dig racing against Brandon Z with his supercharged e-race. So this is going to be good. You guys don't want to miss it. If you're going to the bash, you don't want to miss this.
Very cool. Looks like Randall Swanson buys a key tag, so he's up to 6 entries. We're getting a lot of these coming in. That's cool, guys. Definitely appreciate it. Charles buys.
I love it. It's like if you're going to donate, or if you're going to donate $10, you may as well do the $10 and get something out of it. I mean, it's the same money and you're getting something out of it. I love that.
Yep.
I like my key tags too.
Dude, I use a key tag on everything. I was always kind of surprised, because I try to design so many different ones to keep people interested, because everybody wants something different. And they weren't selling as fast as I had hoped they would, but I don't know. I use them on
Well,
all
I
my
have
stuff.
like
So
all
if
the different
nothing
color
else,
ones. So
I'm happy with them.
that way, in a visual, when I look at my key rack, I don't have to worry
Yeah.
about which key is which. I know by color
Yep.
which car is which.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we got Kevin Reynolds right now is leading the pack. He's at 20 entries. He bought 4 key tags. So let's keep rocking and rolling on this thing, guys. This thing's gonna go all night, and then at the end of this show, we will be doing the wheel spin for who wins. It looks like Joe is in here, so Joe Lamb is here. Joe, did you get my text earlier about the changes I wanted to make on the shirt? I just want to make sure we are able to get that designed. I'm thinking if we could get that designed and ready to go for next Monday night, I think that's what we're going to push for the giveaway, the final giveaway for Wheelcraft.
Nice.
Mark Cutsey says, I purchased an anti-gravity battery, 60 amp for the Z06, and they were going to charge $250 to ship to Hawaii. Ouch. Luckily, I'm visiting our daughters in Ohio and Washington, and only costs $33 to ship to Washington. Nice.
There you go. Now, are you just going to put that on your carry-on when you jump on the back on the plane?
Hey,
How are you gonna get it back?
sometimes it's work smarter, not harder, Mark. I know.
That's right. Well, you
Mark.
can't put the lithium batteries in your check bag, so just carry it as a carry-on. You get 2 of them.
Yep.
And Joe is does everybody know Joe's news about the bash?
I don't know if that's supposed to be shared just yet. So,
Okay.
but
All right.
but we'll see because it should be pretty cool. Let's see. Good Lord, yeah. Darren Burnett says he had to run back at the thumbs up and it made him late. All right, so guys, while you guys are looking at the giveaway, make sure you're buying those key tags, smashing the thumbs ups. We want to get as many thumbs ups going as possible. Looks like we got 62 right now. We got 14 minutes to hit the 100. So let's smash those thumbs ups.
Go guys.
In the meantime, grab those key tags, donate the $10 or $50, whatever you're thinking, and win a $600 gift certificate to Wheelcraft, which if you guys haven't, if you're not familiar with Wheelcraft, they are going to be the place where you can get all kinds of interesting coatings done on your wheels or really anything metal. The stuff that they use is actually, you know what? I just noticed this on their website on the left-hand side. One of the options is pit crew. Right off the bat, you know it's a match made in heaven. And obviously, we were looking at Joseph Russo's car here. Yes, his wheels are a black chrome. So, and that's a PVD coating, meaning it's not going to chip, it's not going to flake, it's not going to have any issues. It is a very strong coating. It's the same coating that they use on the side of your iPhones to blacken out the titanium finish. So, you know it's going to last. And it looks really cool. I've gotten a bunch of pictures from people that were picking up their cars at the National Corvette Museum, and Ed from Wheelcraft works with the National Corvette Museum to make sure that your wheels are done and put on the car before you even pick it up. So if you decide you want to chrome your wheels or make them black chrome, whatever color you want to go with them, I mean, these are just 2 of the options. They can be done and ready for you to pick up before you even buy the car.
Man, that's cool.
It is very cool.
I like that.
So again, this is tonight. You're entering to win a $600 gift certificate to Wheelcraft, so you can have your wheels or anything metal on your car done. Like I said, I'm going to be doing exhaust tips here soon. You could do throttle bodies, anything that's metal. This coating will, of course, adhere to. So check out Wheelcraft, guys. They're obviously the supporter for the month of March. We're going to have one more week with them next week, and it's going to be Ed himself on here answering some questions about the coatings and about the process.
Right.
So stay tuned for that. Ron says his car's in the picker. Oh, is it? Which one is it, Ron? Is it the... I feel like I should probably know this. It's probably... No, it's not the white one. Let's see. Huh. Okay, well, actually, let's check this out. So at the wheel finish here, we have black PVD chrome, bright PVD chrome, which is going to be, of course, your normal chrome, custom PVD chrome, matte PVD chrome, and midnight PVD chrome. So obviously midnight's going to be more of your black finish. Pretty cool, though, to have those PVD options. Let's see if we can figure out where his is at.
That's pretty badass.
There are a lot of cars here, apparently. So here's Keith Cornett's. That's pretty cool. So the Corvette blogger actually had his Hysteria Purple car done with Wheelcraft and did his wheels in chrome.
Nice.
Very cool.
I bet the matte looks good.
I bet it does too. Matt always looks good on cars.
Yeah.
I saw a guy, Justin. He copied the Z06 wheel and then put B-locks on it, and it's in like a chrome looking finish. It's more probably polished, but it looks sinister.
I bet
especially on the
big.
rear. Yeah, it looks
Ooh, look at
wicked.
those 5
Huh.
strokes.
It's cool.
E-ray wheels. I do like the stock E-ray wheel. I'm not gonna lie.
It is
There's
one
some
of the
good
nicer
nice
wheels,
5
yeah.
stroke. Yeah. Yeah.
It's lighter than our Z06 wheel too, if I'm not mistaken.
It
I thought
is.
it was a little bit lighter.
All right, so Clay is in for 5 entries on a key tag.
Clay's car's in the pit crew. Look at that.
Yep. Clay actually sent me a picture of his earlier. But guys, keep smashing the thumbs up button for me if you can. Looks like we're still a little below the 100 that we should be at by 8 o'clock. So just keep smashing those thumbs up. So let me know you're liking the content. We're going to be talking about some ZR1 stuff here. And it's not necessarily the best ZR1 news, but it's news.
No.
So
Yeah.
General Lee saes, what's up, Brandon,
that's
Justin?
news.
Hey, but there is a ZR1 that exists. So
At some point, somebody's going to get one.
it does exist.
What's going on, General? Yeah, guys, please hit the thumbs
Excited.
ups. It really helps the channel.
Yeah, guys.
It does look a little more luxury. I agree. Nice. Professor Corvette says, I've completed my survey of all Corvette content on YouTube. HPO wins first place.
Nice.
Thanks, Professor. And I mean, with a name like Professor Corvette, I assume it was done very scientifically and everything is on
Yes.
the up and up. So I appreciate
Yes.
that. Thank you.
Yes, it's a multi-center RCT. And General Lee, I hope you're feeling well. Thanks for the shout. I hope you're feeling better, buddy.
Yeah, General, it's nice to see you on here, man. I know it's probably been a little tough, but
Absolutely.
weather's getting nicer, so that means you should have your car out. Have you had the car out yet, General?
That's right. And that's good therapy for anything.
100%. It's fact.
It was such a beautiful day today when I drove over to Brandon's, man. Oh, God, it was great. So great.
Yep. NBA Live says 1,064 horsepower equals 1,064 days unconstrained. Unfortunately,
for
that sounds about
horsepower.
right. So let me see where we're at with the thumbs ups here, guys. We got 150 watching, 73 thumbs ups. Let's rock those thumbs up a little bit harder, guys. Please smash the thumbs up for us. Robert says he's going to the dealership to spec his ZR1 for whatever it's worth. Yeah, that's unfortunately that's where we're at with it. But let me turn this over to a little bit of the news that we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
And that is going to be, of course, the GM dealers, or the GM leaving dealers in the dark over March 2025 Corvette allocations and paused ZR1 orders. Now, whenever the orders for the ZR1 initially hit, this was in February, the banks for the ZR1 opened up and we got, dealerships got some allocations for it. Some of the bigger dealerships got 10, 15 or so allocations for a ZR1. Of course, filled all of them. And we noticed really quickly we were not able to get a ZTK package car. Now that by itself kind of sucks, but at least there were some people out there who were more than okay with that and we're going to move forward with an order without the ZTK package. Now those people now have been pulled back because all these orders at one point hit 3,000 status, which is, as a Corvette buyer, you are elated to see a 3,000 status because that means your car is about to be built. And that was all pulled back from 3,000 back to 2,000 because GM was going to do their best to actually provide the ZTK package as an option for some of these people. That sounds like a great idea. It sounds like a fantastic thing. I almost started to get upset because I was like, I passed on my first round allocation because there was no ZTK, but now I'm hearing you could have gotten the ZTK. So I was kind of upset. But the problem with that is there has been zero communication since that happened. GM promised we would hear something within 10 days, and that was about 20 some days ago, and we've heard nothing.
Almost a month.
Almost a month.
Almost a month.
We've heard nothing. Nothing about them pulling those orders back from 3,000 to 2,000. Nothing about whether or not you're going to have an option for ZTK when you didn't before. Nothing about your order, period. Then I got a text earlier, a couple days ago, from Amani at Sioka, my salesman, saying that there was nothing for March. Not just nothing for ZR1, but nothing really for anything. There was no allocations really given for anything, which is very strange by itself. Now, you guys know the plant is going to be closed 2 weeks out of this month. I think it might be closed currently if I recall correctly. But either way, I don't know if that's part of the reason here, if that's what the problem is that the plant's closed. You really should be able to get some sort of update from GM, even if the plant is closed. But there's just a real lack of communication, a real lack of everything on the ZR1 especially. It is really, really disappointing what they're doing with this car. And I don't know about David and Brendan, I don't know what you guys have heard, but I've heard now from 3 different people just today, 3 different subscribers of mine, whenever I put out this the thumbnail for the live video here, 3 different people texted me and saying, you know what, I was waiting for a ZR1, I'm done, I'm passing, I'm going on to XYZ. One of them is moving on to some older Corvettes while they wait for the ZR1, if they're even going to get a ZR1. One of them bought a completely different brand car just to get out of the whole thing and said, screw GM, I'm not doing this again. People are extremely upset, and they're done playing the game that GM has with the C8, because we've been playing it since the Stingray came out. And you had your Stingray, which was a gigantic game. Then the Z06, possibly the biggest game ever with the Z06. And even to some degree with the E-Ray, there was a little bit of a game. And it's like, we're done with this. And then the ZR1 is it looks awesome, of course. It's 1,064 horsepower. What more could you possibly want? But the hype wasn't really there for the ZR1 like there was for the Z06. So people are even less likely to continue playing these games. Like, they just want the freaking car at this point.
Yeah, you know, the other thing is too is that people that are shopping for a ZR1 can very easily go over and buy, like Steven, buy an R8, buy a Porsche, buy a GT3, buy a McLaren. You can buy these things. So if you're done with the games and you just want to get whatever you want to get, I mean, it happens, man. I mean, I'm with you. You know, I mean, it's getting old now at this point. I mean, you're at least on like a very like early allocation, you know, which that would be frustrating enough. But somebody like me who's already looking at 1.5 to 2 years for a car, now it's, you know, 2 years to 2.5 years. You know what I mean? Like, it just keeps going further and further and further back. It's gonna be
the people I know. It's a little bit different. They are willing to go without the ZTK if they can get to 3,000 status and get a car. If they can get that. So I know some people are making some concessions on what they're wanting.
Yeah.
At least that I talked to.
Yeah.
And
I know one person that said that.
And that's the tough part, is that those people that are willing to make that exception, or I've talked to a couple people who flat out don't even like the big wing car. Like, they want the low wing non-ZTK, and that's fine. You can't even get that. And the thing here is Red C8 Z06 is kind of saying what I'm saying. We just want the truth. Like, just come out and say, hey, here's the problem.
Just talk to us.
Here's the problem. Right. It will be fixed within the next month. Just bear with us. And honestly, we would be 1,000,000 times more likely to bear with them if we knew what was going on.
Exactly.
But the communication is awful.
There is no communication.
I mean, for all you could speculate, there's a problem with the car itself. You know, they're having tuning problems,
right?
Transmission
we have no idea. And you know,
problems.
Here's like, the thing: is when the Z06 first was announced, and the Z06 had kind of like an availability date, and then it was pushed. If you guys remember, the C8 Z06 got pushed a couple times, and every time it got pushed, I thought the same thing, Brandon. I thought, okay, they're having problems with this car. They haven't finished XYZ yet. And then I would actually see some articles pop up talking about how Chevy was having trouble with passing emissions or doing this or doing that. So I started running with a lot of that stuff to find that none of it was really true. I still don't know why they delayed that car, and odds are good we'll never know why they delayed the ZR1.
That's right. You'll never know.
That's the thing. We just need communication. Just tell us what's going on. But and Chopper Larry says it, they hold all the cards. They don't have to let us know anything. But they are, just like Supercharged E-Ray said, they're hurting the brand at this point. If you keep doing it this way, people are going to stop buying your car, because let's face it, at this point, the ZR1 being $200,000 plus, they can go other places and buy a car that's just as good, if not better. So you're not staying around here for the Corvette that was typically I hate to use this term, but the poor man's supercar. That's not what it is anymore. You can go and buy a supercar for about the price you'll pay for this Corvette. So Chevy's hurting themselves here, and I really hope they have some answers for us coming soon.
So has Ford been on the timetable with the GTD? Has there been any sort of delays like this where they kind of kept people in the dark? I can't think of anything.
No, there's a guy local to me that actually just got his GTD, and it was basically bang, 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 just like they said it was going to be. And that's a
If
very,
Ford can do it, why can't I don't understand why GM can't get on.
I don't know, but he just got his GTD like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah. Someone got a GTD?
yep,
Oh, that's
got
cool.
right up the road from me actually.
You got to definitely check that
Video
out.
to come.
Yeah. Eric, Texas Clay, that is a Wheelcraft logo, actually. Good eyes. So Eric actually works at Wheelcraft. I've talked a lot with him as well. Yeah. Maybe he can gives us some of his opinion on the whole ZR1 situation. But the one thing that I was very curious about with this is obviously GM has, I think it has been officially extended, the 2025 model year, until June. So if they extended 2025 model year, then it makes beautiful sense that the ZR1 is going to exist in 2025. We've already seen these things, the allocations come out. We've already seen some of the test cars and everything. So if it exists as a 2025, it's a weird place for this car to exist, because why bring out the 2025 ZR1 brand new kind of car before the interior change? And not only before the interior change, but literally right before the interior
But
change.
if you manage to get one though, and
that'll
you
be
got
the
a
car,
25
right?
before the interior change, that is the car.
Well, what if that's the reason? What if they are going to make every car have the new interior, and that's the plan?
That's a really
Well,
good point.
there's
that could be
only
part of it too.
There's only a couple ways they can do that. They extended 2025 model year, so it makes no sense to extend the 2025 model year if they're not going to make the ZR1 a 2025. If they make it a 2025, then it can't have the new interior unless they designate it
25 and a half.
a 25 and a half, which is weird. I don't has Chevy ever done that with Corvette before? I don't recall. I know of a couple different manufacturers that have.
Yeah, but
I don't know if
No,
Corvette's.
was there something with was it 1984? I feel like there was a year in the early 80s
that they
between the
did a half
C3 and the
year.
C4.
I think
there was
I think it was an
something weird
80
like that.
an 85 that never actually existed or something like that, right?
Well, 83, I think, because there was 84 that was a Crossfire. Oh, I know what it was. So 84 was Crossfire, and then they went to TPI, I think, in
That's
85.
right.
And so there was I think there was some sort of carryover between the 84 and 85. I can't remember specifically. I know the 83, I don't
It
think
was
it existed.
with the TPI. You're right.
So is that a no then on the half year thing?
I don't think officially half year.
Unless
yeah,
there
I
was
don't-
something in 81 with the Crossfire then, when they went from the L98 to the Crossfire injection and the 1981 and the
Yeah.
C3. Unless there was something mid-year there. I can't remember. It's all kind of foggy to me right now, but
So
cold medicine.
So
Yeah.
they could do a 2025 and a half. They've never done that before though, so it's unlikely that they would do it that way, but I don't see any other way they could do it, because there's no point
Yeah, I
extending
mean,
the
it's gonna be
25
hard.
model year unless they make it a
Yeah.
25, but then you're making a brand new car without the new interior right before the new interior comes available. I feel like you're kind of screwing yourself on the sales.
Tesla does it though. I mean, they're refreshing the Model S right now, and it'll be like they've done 2 refreshes on the Plaid where they change the interior of the seats in like the middle of the year.
Middle of the year.
And the taillights even change. Like, and you can have a 22 and have the newer style matrix headlights or taillights, or you can have the older style in the same year models. So, I mean, other manufacturers have done it.
That's true.
I don't know about GM per se, but
That's true.
Tesla for sure has, and they're doing it right now with the Model S. It's getting refreshed. I don't know what it's going to look like, but
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about that.
bet, yeah.
Plaid,
See,
but-
General Lee says to scrap the 25s and make them all 26s. And I thought that same thing at one point too, until they extended the 25 model year. Because now it's like, they're not going to extend that model year unless it's specifically for the ZR1. It's almost guaranteed this car is going to be a 2025 unless they do the half year update thing, which would be a first for GM for Chevy, Corvette, at least that I know of.
But and too, the thing was those will be the big dollar cars if it actually happens.
Yeah, because it's the rare one.
25s that come out right before the interior refresh, and those are the ones 20 years from now that are going to be unobtainable.
Yep.
So,
Guys, smash the thumbs up button if you can. We're a little bit behind schedule here. We got 230 people watching and only 98 thumbs ups. Let's make those numbers match, guys. Smash the thumbs up.
I do remember, Justin. I do remember one thing on the '96 LT cars. on the C4, the last run. Remember the manuals got the LT4s because they had a lot of extra stock. I don't know if that counts as like a mid-year thing, but the manuals of those
Oh, that's
years
right.
got the LT4
For the
versus the
automatic.
automatics got the non-LT4 because I guess the trans couldn't take it. But remember that was kind of a thing for '96.
Yeah.
But that's not really a different. They didn't change
I
anything
was
other
going to
than
say
the
there's a couple instances
not really
like
the same
that
thing.
I can think of, Brandon, but it's not quite the same thing.
Right.
There's a couple instances I can think where cars were getting certain options that were new, but not necessarily something like a refresh interior. So
Right, that's a big change.
that is a big thing, and especially since GM's
Yeah.
going to want people to want the new interior. So if you have a 2020 or a 2021 Corvette, they want you to trade that in just to get the new interior. But at the same time, why offer it on your brand new flagship model car right before the actual interior comes out, the new interior comes out? I feel like that's a weird thing to do unless
Yeah,
they
it
do a
is kinda
half year model up refresh or whatever.
No, it is kind of weird. You know, one of the guys I know that's getting a ZR1 had said that he's like, to fix all this stuff, they should just not offer a non-ZTK car. That way, GM has to have all the parts
Yeah.
and all the packages and all the things, like, just to go ahead. That way, there's no other option for GM to put the car out. They have to have all the parts there.
Well, you know, the sad part is that if they did it that way, it would be easy to offer the non-ZTK car to people after having all the stock of the ZTK car, because all you gotta do is just take the stuff off. But not just that, everything they advertise with the Z06 especially, every car I saw them advertising had the Z07 package on it. So
Right.
how are you going to advertise that car that way and then turn around like, yeah, you can't get it like that. You got to get this one. And it looks very,
We got a car. It's not exactly
right.
like that way.
Well, I mean, it's substantially different. I mean, without the Z07 package on a Z06, I can tell a mile away. The ZTK package is going to be even worse as far as you got a big wing or you don't. Like, there's no way around it.
The C7 ZR1 with the ZTK and without. I mean, it's from a mile away. It's instantaneous. Like it's. Yeah.
Well, that's part of the problem too, is having so many options, which that's the thing we love about Corvettes is you can customize it however you want, different calipers, all those things. And then you can get the Aero, you can get the ZTK, you can get the base, like you can get the convert.
Fiber.
So there's all those things, but the problem with that, trying to scale it, it makes it difficult to scale. And that's one thing, not to keep harping on Tesla, that Tesla does well is they don't give you options. And so they are able to crank them out in large numbers because you don't really
That is
have
the
options,
difference.
which is a catch-22 because nobody wants a car that looks like someone else's. So it's
Exactly.
like, they just need to find a medium there to where they can still get them out to scale, but not have these problems that we're having right
Well,
now.
that's what the guy I know that's getting a ZR1 said. I mean, not that anybody would, only want a ZTK car, but he said that would solve the problem
Yeah.
of, well, we have cars, but we don't have ZTK wings, so we
Yeah.
don't.
The biggest problem is
So-
with this car is that GM put it out to market. If I had to guess, 6 to 10 months earlier than they should have, because they have obviously no stock of ZTK parts. And if I don't know what they were thinking, they flat out said, apparently in a Corvette blogger article, they said that they massively underestimated the demand for a ZTK car. And I said, how do you keep doing this?
How?
You guys did the exact same thing with the Z06/Z07 car. How did you not see this coming? I could have told you it was
How?
coming. You're already
Yeah.
spending 200 grand on a car. They're going to want a fully loaded car.
Everything.
I think they released everything early on the 01 earlier than they wanted to because
I agree.
of leaks or whatever reason. So their hand was forced, and then now they're trying to like play catch up and calm everybody down. And I don't know if it had anything to do with the firings or what, but I feel like they knew that the info was all going to be out, so they just went ahead and tried to get ahead of it, and then it pushed them out early.
It's
Yeah, 'cause
possible.
honestly, the timeline would have made a lot more sense with the refresh.
Yeah,
putting the
make it
car
a
out, having
26.
it at Carlisle, having it at Carlisle this year,
Yep.
where then it's going to be a 26. It's got the new interior. That made a lot more sense. You're right. Maybe their hand got forced and they had to push it out a little early. And it's
Now
going
we're
to be,
dealing with the remnants.
and it's going to be a
Well,
25.
I don't know that their hand got forced, but what ended up happening, if you guys remember, whenever the ZR1 first started coming about, when we saw spy photos of it at the Nürburgring and stuff, they couldn't finish testing the top speed or the cooling system without losing the camo. They had to get the camo off the car.
Yeah.
Right.
So they revealed it probably earlier than they wanted to, but that's not even the problem. Revealing it's one thing. Saying it's available is another thing. So
Yeah.
they could have very
Selling it.
easily revealed it and waited another year to make it available. But instead they decided to rush this, or at least what it looks like rush. I can't think of another term to use for what's happening here. It seems like it's being rushed, and it does not make sense to make this car at 25. If you're changing the interior for the 26s, why would you not wait until 26 to make it? Now,
It makes no sense.
somebody in the comment section here said something that I was actually told very early on in February, was that none of the 2025s were going to be a ZTK package car. They were all going to be non-ZTK. Then 2026, with the interior refresh, that's when ZTK was going to be an option. That's one way to look at it, I guess. I still think that's stupid, but it's one way to kind of gauge how many people are really going to be interested in this car, especially without the new interior. But at the same time, why? Why would you do it this way?
Right.
Like, let me order the car the way I want it. If I'm lucky enough to get an early allocation, which I was, why can't I order the car the way I want it? I don't care if it has a 26 interior. At this point, I kind of like the current interior good enough. I mean,
Me too.
if I decide later I want to trade my 25 ZR1 for a 26 to get a new interior, I can do that. But give me the option to buy a 25 with the ZTK right now. Like, what is happening?
Yes.
So,
Well, and it's always compounded now that manufacturers don't supply or don't stock parts, right? They're delivered like days when they're supposed to be installed on cars and those type of things.
well,
So that compounds everything, because then if your suppliers are like, whoa, like we can't sell or we can't give you this many ZTK package wings or whatever else, now you're in a bind where you don't have the parts.
see, David, that's usually true, but if you remember when you went on the plant tour, you couldn't. You guys,
we both commented on.
yeah, you guys couldn't get the red
pallets.
the red painted in, intake,
Yeah.
but there were pallets of them, and there was whenever I went through too. It's like, you guys are telling me that these things are impossible to get. I'm looking at a stack the size of a building in here full of red intakes. Why can I not have one of those?
Yeah,
So
that is true, because we both commented like, wait.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. This whole thing is really weird, but like I said, it's not even just the ZR1. It was all of the cars. So here on the Corvette blogger, it flat out says, as for ordering the other 3 models, that appears to be on hold as well. Today was supposed to be the start of the ordering for the March 2025 order cycle, but no allocations were granted for Stingray, E-Ray, or Z06. So this is not limited to just the ZR1 at this point. These cars in general, you're not getting them. So again, is this because the plant's going to be closed? They are laying off a lot of people from the plant. I've heard this too, where a lot of the plant workers are being laid off, fired, however you want to word it, because the demand of the car has come down. So they're reducing the amount of Stingrays they're building. They're kind of pulling back on production in general to make sure that that they're not flooding the market with a car that people aren't buying. And right now it kind of seems that way, because you're able to get 10-15% off of brand new cars that are sitting on the dealer lots. So
Is it possible there's some sort of tax reason why they're doing this? Like for example, in hospitals, the tax year ends in say like July or June, July, August, somewhere in there, and it switches over from a tax perspective. And so then there's new, you have more money to do X, Y, and Z. And you think there's any sort of chance there's a tax reason why they're waiting and delaying this? I mean, that's true, because that's $200,000 per car they're going to get revenue.
yeah,
To pump that out.
it's very possible that it's something like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, even if it was, obviously GM is not going to let us know that. I mean, it certainly seems like everything is on the hush hush, where we can't actually, and that is 90% of the problem, is that we don't know what's going on. Like, honestly, someone said in the chat earlier that if GM actually came out and told us what was really going on, they'd lose customers all over the place. Okay, that's fine. Maybe that's true, depending on what the problem actually is. But at least come out and say something. Tell us something, even if it's a freaking lie. Tell us something so we know you're paying attention to the fact that people are upset about this stuff. It feels like we're mad and they don't care, And I mean, a lot of these people have orders in for a $200,000+ car that they've heard nothing about. I mean, these aren't pennies. This is massive amounts of money, and these are the people that keep your brand going. So, me and other YouTubers who have ordered this car, these are the guys that are going to continue to create hype for these cars for you too. So not communicating with them and not giving them anything on this car is a bad idea.
Well, and you hit it on the head earlier. I think we both said it, but you definitely made a good point of it that people that are in the market for a fully loaded ZR1 are cross shopping GT3s
Yep.
and R8s and
Yep.
McLarens and things, and like they can get a different experience if they order a McLaren or whatever else, that they'll get the order, they'll get the updates, they'll get the. It's not going to be like, oh, thanks for your order, we'll be in touch.
Right. Months later.
Don't call us.
Yeah, don't call
you.
us. So General Lee puts it very elegantly, and this is exactly how I feel about it. He says, all I have to say is, I'm so glad I have a C8 Z06. This is unwanted drama that is so unnecessary. And I'll be honest, like the ZR1 is a fantastic car. It's going to be an absolute beast. But if it wasn't for the YouTube channel, I would not move on past the C8 Z06. I think the C8 Z06 is one of the best cars I have ever driven. I have mine modded out to the absolute perfect spec for me. And I don't need to move on to the ZR1. I really don't need to. This is coming from a ZR1 fan. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the ZR1. I don't need to move on to that if it wasn't for YouTube.
And honestly, I think if we ever get to a point where we can tune these things, it's going to be world changing. I'm telling you. So what did you just run? 6130, 6.2?
627 or something
So
like that.
NA,
64.
NA, no spray, 6.20, 60 to 130. Now stock we were like eights, like low eights,
80,
like
yeah.
80, something like that. 6.2 NA. Now he does have
Factory tune.
weight reduction, factory tune. No higher RPM, no added timing, nothing like that. I mean, this
E85 is in the tank. That's the only thing. Some E85.
but it's insane the performance out of a 5.5 liter, and you're going to run 60 to 130. That would be boosted. Who's the twin turbo Z06? It's faster than.
Well, the Alex's twin turbo.
Yeah, Pice's twin turbo times are slower than.
But they're full weight cars. Obviously they did the same thing.
But still, it's such a great car. Like you said, like if I just didn't want one just because it was that 1,000 horsepower from the factory, blah 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 blah.
Right.
I mean, the Z06 all day long is enough for me. For
the big thing to remember with all this is, this is going to be speaking Brandon's language here for a second, is that you can get the ZR1, of course, eventually, and it's going to have 1,064 horsepower. But you got to keep in mind that 1,064 horsepower does come with a weight penalty. And if you're looking for a naturally aspirated, lowest weight possible, it's the Z06. With a couple little mods, you can knock off another couple, 100, 200 pounds like Brandon's done. And now all of a sudden you're looking at a car with 670 horsepower, flat plane crank, and it weighs 3,100 pounds. Like now all of a sudden this is a totally different game, because the ZR1 is going to be roughly 200 pounds heavier than the Z06 because of the extra turbos, extra cooling, all that stuff.
Well, and I'll piggyback off of that. The Plaid's 1,000 horsepower, and when we were doing filming for exhaust stuff, and I was following him in the Plaid, and he was following me, like whatever, but I was following him in his car. You're not gonna reel that Brandon's car in that fast in the Plaid. Like you may eventually, but then once you run out of battery, whatever. But I'm telling you, it is hard to catch his car in the Plaid.
Yeah,
it is hard. I mean, like, aren't you surprised at how it just does it? Like you would think you would just zoom right up on it, but you don't.
And these cars are way faster than I think we realize.
They're
100%, and it's
impressive.
It's funny you say that, Brandon, because after having my car sit for a couple months during the wintertime, whenever I get back in the car, and I haven't spent enough time in the car since winter to fully get acclimated to it again. Every time I drive that car, I was telling Bill the other day, it literally scares me when I press the gas, because I forgot how fast the freaking thing is.
It is way faster than we think they are.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see the empiric data for it. A 6.2, 60 to 130, and a 5.5 liter NA car. That is insane.
Yep.
That is absolutely insane. That's like boosted car territory usually, is low sixes.
So John Perkins says, Justin, you're never done modding. You're definitely right there, John. And that is the weird thing, is it's like every night I'm looking at stuff online. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to see if I can get that for my car. And it's like, I should be done, but it's one of those things. And then Mark Cutsey says, if Justin removes and sells his carbon fiber mods to a carbon fiber companies, it would increase carbon fiber supply for 2 years. Oh man, I like that, Mark. That's good stuff.
Way to go, Mark. That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we got 200 people watching, 123 thumbs ups. Keep rocking the thumbs ups.
Come on, guys.
Make sure you're going, if you want to get entered in on the $600 gift certificate from Wheelcraft, make sure you are going to the website, buying any key tags you can. It's just horsepowerobsessed.com. Go to the merchandise section, key tag. Every key tag purchase is 5 entries at this point. Or if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, $10 is an entry. $50 or more is double entries. So
I like to get entries. You get something for your money than just giving it away. I like that, man.
that's the way to do it. It's the way to do it.
I don't know if it really.
I know. I love this, man. This is great.
Otherwise, I mean, you're not throwing your money away, but at least like you have the
Right.
percentage of chance now. At least you know you're getting something for it. So.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like you're buying a shirt and you get a chance to win. Like,
Yep,
I like
and-
that, man.
And me and Joe Lamb are going to work together on making sure this shirt's ready for next Monday night. So we'll be.
I can't wait because you
It's
you
gonna be an
sent me
awesome
the picture.
shirt.
That logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that logo is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to see like everybody at the bash. You guys better get T-shirts because I want to see all of you at the bash.
Well, that's
Rocking
another
your
thing.
T-shirts.
Next Monday
Oh
night,
my
when this new shirt's available, you guys buy it and you wear it on Friday at the bash. If I see you wearing it, you come up to me, I'm going to have a special gift for you. Now, it's not going to be anything freaking crazy, of course, but you're going to get a special gift if you come up to me wearing that T-shirt.
Is it gonna be a Werther's?
Oh my God, no! What
Is
the-
it- Oh,
where'd
wait,
you come up with that?
I bet I know what it is. It's a Mountain Dew can.
Yeah, it's crushed by
It's
Justin
Mountain
himself.
Dew can.
I'll tell you what,
Crushed by
Brandon.
Justin himself.
I have the idea in my head already of what I wanted to do. That was not it, but now it might be.
I like that. I think that's
Or
good.
just like what was his name that came? Oh, 10 seconds 06 when he came up Carlisle, he had the little cooler, but it wasn't Mountain Dew. It's like walk around with your little cooler and giving people what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew.
Now I couldn't.
I'll buy Mountain Dew for that.
I was gonna say I couldn't be giving away what he was giving away, but
No.
yeah, John Perkins.
People probably
That's a
like
good
what he
point.
gave away a little better.
Exactly.
He says he doesn't even have a channel and he's never done modding either. So you don't need a channel. I'll put it to you this way, guys. I've always been this way. I mod my cars. I make
Right.
my cars mine. It does not matter if I had a YouTube channel or not. That was one of the reasons why I started a YouTube channel, was to kind of just film the stuff that I've always done. Now, I don't usually do much of anything specifically for YouTube. I do what I've always done, and
Right.
it seems to be, people kind of like it on YouTube as well. Carl says, Justin will say yes to me if I ask him on a date, ? If you're paying, dude, I'm in. Like, let's do
That's
it.
right. Yeah, man.
Right.
If it's on your bill, let's go.
Flying Cop Car says the ZR1 is impressive, but all of the constraints and failed launches really tampered. That's it. That's 100% it. All the people that I'm talking to today after I put out this live video, just the thumbnail alone saying that we've been left in the dark. I've gotten 3 of my subscribers that have one of these things on order that have either canceled the order or are going to cancel it because of how just failed this whole thing
And that's
seems.
such a shame too, because the car's such a win.
Exactly.
If they would have done it in a way that takes the hype from just like the numbers, the minute the numbers came out, the hype was insane.
Yep.
If you launch from the numbers into the reveal, into like you can buy a car, dude, they'd never be able to make enough that they would sell them all. Like honestly, but now, like you said, like people are getting fed up with it. Like the hype's kind of wore off a little bit. I mean, yeah, it's going to be insane. And now, they just did the. I think the other thing why they did all these track records was another thing to try to keep people interested in the car because they know they got all this time to fill and all this crap's been going on.
Yep.
So like, let's go out and let's slaughter some track records to keep people hyped on the car.
It's funny because if that's the case, be prepared. We're about to get something else. And if
Yep.
I had to
I hope
guess,
we do.
it's going to be the Nürburgring number. And
I hope so.
that's the next thing to keep us at bay because these guys are getting anxious, guys. We gotta leak something out to them. Here it is.
Exactly.
So
Feed them a bone.
yeah,
Well, if they're gonna like shorthand us on all this stuff, then why don't they just come out with a model that has all this shit already gone? Like for example, like a 1LE Z06 that you don't get a second seat and your air conditioning's off the car and no carbon fiber bits, since they're not going to give you that stuff anyway. And then you just call it a 1LE and monetize it and charge it $30,000.
Charge more for it. Yeah, exactly.
I was just talking to somebody about this because they could easily do exactly that. Take out the seat, take out your AC, infotainment system, all this stuff, and then sell the crate that includes all that stuff for $1. Just like Dodge Demon did. You could have all that stuff back. Here it is for $1 because technically the car is not legal to be sold that way unless the stuff comes with it. So there it is.
But that goes back to when people really like the whole power to weight thing. Back the Mustang LX, like you couldn't get notchbacks. You can't buy them anymore because people bought them forever because they didn't weigh anything. Same thing if you could buy a car stripped down back then. You could D-check all the options.
Yeah.
That really would be, and they could probably charge more like Porsche does. Oh, you don't want any of that? We're gonna make it lighter. We're gonna take you're not even get door handles. That's another 10 grand.
Yep.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you could make some money that way.
All right, so just looking at some of the entries here, guys. Looks like we have slowed down a little bit here. If you guys want to get in on the giveaway, we're going to be doing it here in roughly 10 to 15 minutes. So if you want to get in on this, every $10 donated through Venmo is an entry. If you buy a key tag on the website, which is just horsepowerobsessed.com, every key tag is 5 entries. So if you want to buy 4 key tags, you're going to get 20 entries. So
Nice.
check out the
They're
website.
nice, I really like my key tags.
They're super high quality stuff. They're not like vinyl printed or anything.
No,
they're embroidered
I like
key
mine.
tags. They last forever. I mean, I know 2 people that have the key tags personally that have had them since the very original ones I made, which would have been probably 2019. And they are they just beat the heck out of their stuff, and they still look good. So
Oh yeah, they are really high quality. Like I mean, I've got 4, and like I said, I use them like just immediately. The color that's the key I grab because I know which vehicle it goes to. So
yep.
I even have the black tinting one.
Justin asked me, when are you planning on going to the bash? I am going to the bash this year. I'm actually going to be down there with these 2 guys. Bill from RSC, Bill Miller's riding down. I think Kevin Horan. I don't see the Seawolf in here, but he'll probably be with us too. We'll be driving down on Wednesday, I believe it is, a day before the show.
Yeah, yeah, I'll be there a day before too.
I'm coming Thursday morning.
Okay, well you're pretty close. It's easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
you
just be up there
jump
like by noon or so.
Yep. And then the takeover's on Friday, and then we have the racing on Saturday. And if any of you guys have a Z06, have an E-Ray, have a Stingray, whatever you want, I mean, this is going to be open. Like, let us know if you want to be in on our group when we're going to go do our racing. If you want to race Brandon, hey, I want to race Brandon. Race Brandon. If you want to race me, race me. If you want to race Justin, race Justin. I mean, we're going to be there, and we're going to go anyway. So if you want to come on, get some licks and get down the track, let's do it.
Yeah, Joe Troyer, we're all going to actually be parked with RSC. So RSC is going to have a booth there. We're going to be displaying their carbon fiber, all that good stuff. And yeah, Justin, you can come. You can tag along if you want. We're going to be leaving probably around 10-ish, 10 or 11 in the morning, and heading to the hotel. David, Brandon, you guys staying at the same hotel we are? Do you know?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay. I by the time we get to the bash, just so you know, I will have asked you that question probably 36 times. So just be prepared. That I never remember. So.
And bring a +1 so our ladies can have somebody to talk to. Everybody's got a +1.
Get on your text and make it happen.
But no, seriously though, if anybody wants to come to the track with us, though, we would love that. That would be even better. We'll have to find out. We'll find out how late it's going to be open Saturday because I know it says it opens in like the morning, right, Brandon?
Yeah, I think the track opens. They say 9, but I've never seen a track.
I've never seen a track open. But we'll find out. We'll let you guys know the details so you know, and then we'll know all the details at the bash. So if you're there and you want to be part of it, like please, we would love to have you guys come do some racing with us. That'd be awesome.
And they're also doing an autocross event. I think it's Saturday.
It's the same day.
Yeah, that we could get in on an autocross event.
Yeah.
Stingray guys, that'd probably be perfect for it, honestly.
Yeah, the Stingray guys would be best for that.
Yeah, they'll smoke us all.
Yep.
Yeah, AARPM says he's driving down Wednesday to the bash. He thinks John Perkins and him will be heading down from Indy. We're going to meet up with you guys just like we did last year between you, Aaron, John. There was one other guy that contacted me that lives in that area as well, I believe, and we'll meet up with him most likely, depending on the route we take. I think Omid's not in here, but I think we'll meet up with him at some point as well. If it all works like I plan it in my head, we'll come down there with probably 10 people, 10 Corvettes just in a freaking train. I think that'd be awesome.
I'm bringing 5 just alone that are traveling with me on Thursday mornings, at least 5. So that'd be another 5 on top of that.
Joe Troyer says he'd love to go to the track with us. So,
come on, Joe.
I know we're definitely down for the drag racing, right? That's like a definite. And then
that is 100%, yeah. And we already have it locked in. Corey's already agreed.
Omid is here.
3 and 3.
Perfect.
him. So, yep. But yeah, no, anybody, Joe, if you want to come, that would be awesome, man. And it doesn't have to be a C8, guys.
Yeah,
If you got a
whatever you
C7
got.
and you guys
Yep.
want a C6, bring it. Let's run it. Let's have a blast, man.
Mark Cutsey said that if he flies back next month for the bash, he's running a sleeper Prius, so he might destroy all of us. So get ready for that. Get ready for
Hey,
that.
on the autocross event, if it's one of the quicker, aren't there a couple of Priuses that are actually somewhat decent? that
Okay,
quick now?
okay, your EV signal.
No, no,
I was just gonna say, enough, Brandon. It's going too far.
That will beat some other cars out there right now.
Too far.
I don't know what it'll be, but I'm pretty sure there's a
Hey,
Prius.
if you take a Prius,
6 seconds to 60.
take a Prius,
quick.
rip out all the seats, all the air conditioning, lower it in an inch. Suddenly it's a
I think
performer.
there is a Prius that gets 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. So I'm gonna find out.
5 seconds?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Find
not very
I was gonna
fast,
say
then,
5
Brandon.
seconds, I don't know.
Like,
No, like, come on.
I think there is, but I might be wrong. I'm gonna find out.
Look, a Prius ain't a Tesla Plaid, bro. Like,
Dude, they're getting better, dude. I'm telling you.
all right, Justin.
this
Shoot me a
signal.
text, and I'll get back to you on what we're doing.
That's awesome.
Long live the C5. The C5 is definitely a cool car. Absolutely.
yeah, bring it. If you got a C5, we love C5s. Bring
Yeah,
it.
Tyler,
Bring
you
it.
come down. I think you're in Jersey, right? Come down, meet us, and drive down to the bash. It doesn't matter if you got a C8. Come down with the C5.
Yeah, come down with Look, a Corvette is a Corvette. Come on, let's run them.
Marlon
Let's
says,
run
"Are
it.
you stopping in Louisville again?" We probably will. Yeah, that's probably where we'll meet up with a couple different people to then make the final
Wait,
trip into Nashville.
6.7 seconds is the fastest Prius right now. Just so you
Look,
know.
Justin, I want you to know he Googled that and literally went click, and put the phone down.
Listen, I wasn't that far
Ouch.
off 5'9" and 6'7". I mean, that's not super slow.
He was like,
It's pretty slow, man. We're gonna chalk this up to the fact that Brandon's sick. Okay, guys,
That's
Brandon is not feeling well.
he's on cold medicine.
All right.
It can handle though.
No, it can't. What? That's like the last thing it can do.
Damn, I feel bad for anybody who actually has a Prius in here.
I was gonna say anybody who has a Prius,
be
they have
complaining
checked
too.
out
Oh,
at this
God.
point. They're like, all right, I'm done with this
Nate will
guy.
be complaining. Justin, Nate will be complaining about the Prius hate.
Yeah, exactly. Prius hate. It's right up there with the
No,
E-Ray.
Okay.
All right,
Damn.
Amber's in here. She says she's sorry she's late. She's actually sitting downstairs. So,
Well, hello, Amber.
Hey, Amber.
um,
Hey, Amber, please come to the bash. Brett's coming. She needs company. Please come.
Plus, who's going to keep Justin in line?
that's true. Should I start a poll?
Justin needs someone to keep him because we are not a good influence on
Yeah.
Justin.
Omid says he's supposed to be working Wednesday as of now, but were you guys planning on grabbing dinner in Louisville like last year? I think that is the plan, Omid. We'd like it to be the plan at least. So we'll be in contact because I'm going to have you give me a good idea of what route we should take on the way down to avoid all the disgusting road work that we hit last year. So we'll be in touch more closer to that date.
Yep. I'm
Uh,
excited already, man. I am so excited already.
AARPM, we would definitely not shun that, man. The CT5s are cool.
Oh, heck yeah. Bring it. Yeah, bring a CT5, man. Yeah. Do not bring a Prius.
Someone's going to bring a Prius now. It's guaranteed it's going to happen.
You know what?
It's going to be Brandon.
We make-
Brandon's going to show up
We
in a
make
freaking
Brandon
Prius.
race it then. We make Brandon drive it. Then-
What, the Prius?
Yeah.
I drive it. I don't care.
I
I'll
know.
drive the shit out of it, too.
It'll go back all ragged out.
Yank the seats out. I'll make that little fucker quick.
Yeah, he'll have a roll cage in it. Good
Give me a
God.
month with the Prius, and it'll be a sub 6 second 0 to 60. I'll knock that 0.7 off. You watch.
A month and for
Give me mine.
0.7.
It's going to be half on fire because he's going to overclock the friggin' battery or something.
Actually, knowing this guy, he'll be spraying it somehow.
So based on everything that Brandon
Super
just
cool
said,
batteries.
his comment in the comment section perfectly sums it up, and it is, "I am not well, LOL."
That's great.
All right, guys. So again, let's get the last minute entries here in for the Wheelcraft $600 gift certificate. So if you want to get your wheels done, anything metal coated with the PVD coating that they use, you will have a $600 gift certificate to do so. All you got to do is go on to horsepowerobsessed.com, buy a key tag, donate $10 here or $50 here, and it will get you double entries. So whatever you want to do, make sure you're getting them in here now because we have only a couple more minutes here before I start running the wheel. So with all that said, let's talk a little bit more news. There is some news for those select few out there that have the 2025 Z06, Stingray, or E-Ray with the front end lift. GM has issued a technical service bulletin for the 2025 Corvettes over a contaminated front lift system. I like the wording here because they don't actually say exactly what it's contaminated with, but apparently
I didn't catch that story.
It's potentially bad enough that they may have to replace the entire front shock setup. So the whole front left, front right shock with the front end lift mechanism on it, the whole thing needs replaced.
Yep.
Or actually no, it's both. I thought it was or a flush, but apparently it is the flush and the replacement. So they got to flush the entire hydraulic system and replace the two front shocks. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money right there. So GM definitely screwed up whenever they're eating that much of the cost of it. So if you have a 2025 with a front end lift, you might want to get that thing checked because that's pretty big money if you have to end up replacing it later. And those TSBs are only covered. Those TSBs are only good if you're under warranty. So don't wait until you're out of warranty for that.
Hey Justin, I was going to ask you: have you heard of anybody having popping sounds after the front collars for the lifts on the Z06 at all? As far as like the Paragon little lift collar or lowering collars?
What kind of sound?
Like popping sounds.
Yeah.
Like with going over bumps. Have you heard of that? I've heard it's like the bolts sometimes not being tight enough.
I'll tell you what.
Just was asking me about that, and I didn't know. I don't have personal experience with it because I don't have front end lift.
I'll tell you what, Brandon, I have that sound, and I would not classify it a popping sound. I would classify it almost a banging sound. And I thought at first it sounded like something was loose too, but there's nothing loose. So I don't know exactly what it is, but the problem with that is I had the same sound in my 2020 Stingray, and I did not have that car lowered. So the only similarities between the two cars is that they were both front end lift cars. So something with that front end lift makes it, if you hit a slightly aggressive bump, it makes a really it's like a banging sound. Like it almost amplifies how bad the bump was that you just hit. And I have a video somebody posted up on.
That sounds like what this guy's having. That's a friend of mine named Wayne. That sounds exactly like what he's having. He just put those on and he's noticing that.
See, I noticed mine did it before it, but there's a video I have. I saved it on my phone. I'll send it to you after the video or the live here. Somebody put it up on Facebook randomly, and he was asking about that same problem. And his, again, not lowered by Paragon, it's just stock, but he has the same problem. And to this day, there's not a fix for it. I've had that issue since 2020, and I have not seen anybody have a fix for it.
Okay, thank you.
That's good to know.
There's Jay. I was wondering when you were going to tune in. Jay, horsepowerobsessed.com. If you buy key tags, you get 5 entries per key tag. $600 Wheelcraft gift certificate tonight. So you can do the key tags. Every key tag you buy is 5 entries, or of course double entries past $50. And yeah, I see you just sent a Venmo, so you're gonna get 20 entries as it is. Jay, you are in for 20 entries. So right now, Jay and Kevin Reynolds are the only 2 at 20 entries. If you guys want to try to match up with these 2 guys, they're high rollers, man. You got to keep up with these guys.
That's a good deal for $600 off, man.
Hey, Justin, let's get this story from Carlos. He just popped in about something happened with his Z06.
I know his story. I'm not going to tell it for him. Him and I have been talking behind the scenes. But Carlos, if you want to go ahead and tell the story, I'm not sure if you want to reserve this for your own thing or not. But if you don't, we'll talk about it.
I don't know. He just said on the comment.
Jay, I got your Venmo, and Gary Phelps is asking like it's bottoming out. It almost is like that, but again, it doesn't matter if the car's lowered or not because my 2020 did it without any kind of lowering, without any modification at all to the shock. So it kind of almost sounds like it's bottoming out, but it can't really be doing that if it's a stock car. I would hope not, at least, because I mean, I'm not talking about hitting a bump that's like, hellacious. I'm just talking about like a little bit more aggressive than your normal road bump.
No.
Yeah, like if you hit a pretty decent pothole. Professor Corvette says, "Did you hear about the C8 sedan in the works?" No. There's so many rumors about these things. I've chosen to completely ignore the rumors of the SUV or the sedan or anything like that until I see one solid piece of evidence that either one of those two things is coming.
Now, what about the TRX thing? I'm seeing more people running with that story. Still think it's not true?
Yeah, it's the same guy under different usernames. He's actually been caught doing it, and he keeps referring to the person that is giving him this information as my daddy, who owns a dealership. Apparently, is he that's where the information's coming from.
That's weird.
Yeah.
He calls him daddy?
He calls him
Or
daddy.
dad?
No,
Well,
daddy.
Mopar Insiders ran with it, and I felt like usually there is
the only bit of truth to it is that the new CEO is interested in bringing back the Hellcat engine, and if he does, mark my words, it'll be a red eye. It'll be a 797 800 and something horsepower engine.
Yeah.
Okay, when you find out and there's a list, I want you to let me know where the lists are because I would love to get on that list.
I will be number one on the list at the dealership where I bought my TRX because I already told him.
Cheaper, just buy my powertrain, put it in your TRX.
Well, but there's new tech though. I'm hearing that
Yeah.
the new tech in the RHOs is like really good.
Well, have you seen the new screen in the RHO is really cool. It's 2 inches bigger, it's faster, and it's just overall better setup. So
and the passenger has a screen, right?
Yeah, the passenger screen's kind of a gimmick though. Like you can't really do anything on it. I'm not really sure why it's there other than just to say we have a screen.
Oh, I haven't even seen. Is anything else different besides like the infotainment stuff? Is like the seats or anything like that? All the same.
There is a button. What was that button for now? There is one button on the driver's side door that's new, and I can't remember what it was now. But it's not anything crazy.
I hope it's massaging seats.
It was massaging seats.
Was it massaging seats?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
Massaging seats and
TRX, that's pretty cool.
Massaging seats and Toyota Priuses, man. It's what does it for Brandon when he's sick.
Don't lie. Listen, don't lie. Some of you guys would like massaging seats in your Corvette. Let's just be honest.
Oh, if they offered it as an option, it would sell.
It would. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's the new thing.
All right, so got another key tag. Jay Brazelton did. Okay, all right.
Jay.
Let's see what we got here. I'm going to start wrapping this up here pretty soon with the giveaway, guys. So if you guys are interested in getting in on this, now's your chance. Don't wait much longer because it's going to go. So Jay is now at 25 entries. He's rocking along with the most entries out of everybody. Real quick, before we go, one last little piece of news is if you have a C7 Corvette, this is news for the C7 Corvette, guys. I always get this question. Are you guys ever going to talk about anything that's not C8? Here we go. C7 Corvette, the class action lawsuit against GM for the shuttering 8-speed auto transmission survives motion to dismiss. This kind of sucks because class actions never get you any money, but at the same time, GM is going to be held responsible for their shuttering 8-speed automatic transmission. So if you have a C7 with an 8-speed auto and you're having the shutter issue, you might get a couple bucks in the mail. So
I don't know. I feel a little differently about this stuff. I know that was a problem in 2015 when they switched over, and that was a huge issue in those years. But like retrospectively suing them and costing them, who does that really? Does it really help anybody?
It benefits the lawyers.
It helps the lawyers.
The lawyers.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But it hurts GM and it hurts the consumer. I mean, it holds them accountable. I get that, but like, there's got to be a better way than just giving all this money to lawyers of doing this. I don't really like it that much. I don't like lawyering up and doing this kind of stuff personally. That's just
I don't either, but it is what it is. It's done at this point, so people are going to get a couple bucks out of it. And unfortunately, you're right. It's going to hurt GM's bottom line. It's going to hurt, but at the same time, GM should have done something with it. Something more than they did. So I don't know. I just got another purchase from Kevin Reynolds. Kevin Reynolds is now at the top with 30 entries. So Kevin Reynolds has 30, Jay has 25. But yeah, so there you go. If you have a C7 Corvette, don't ever say we don't talk about C7 stuff. Plus I have this thing imaged back here every live. If there's C7 Corvette news, we will talk about it.
Yep.
I don't think I saw, Carlos didn't post in here exactly what happened, did he?
No, I don't think so.
No, I didn't see it.
He just put there that he was saying that's not good.
So here we go. Sean's actually talking about, he says he just got his 2025 Z06 and the front end lift has been acting odd. It makes a grinding noise when it goes up, and it's also been going up and down his driveway without explanation. Sounds to me like you should probably go to the dealership and mention that TSB we were just talking about, because
You're contaminated.
You're probably contaminated. And I like how they use that word, but they don't say what it's contaminated with. Like, why would they say contaminated unless you're going to tell me what's in there?
Fluid, though. Yeah, but what's in the hydraulic fluid? Yeah, but that's what it is, though. The hydraulic fluid was contaminated.
Yeah. LT4 Powered says, don't worry, the lawsuit will be reflected in the new C8 prices. God, isn't that the truth? And maybe that's why we're waiting so long on the ZR1. They're trying to find a reason to up the price on it.
Hey, Justin, did you see where Alex can now log the TCM on C8s? He can log like every module, like all the little electronic valves. He can see the signals going to pretty much everything within the TCM right now, which is like a new thing. It's just come out like this past week where he's able to actually log what's going on inside the trans, which we weren't able to before.
That is cool.
Kind of cool. I don't know what that's going to mean moving forward, but it's one step closer to TCM tuning.
To be able to tune the TCM.
Yeah.
That'd be
At least knowing what it's doing and why it's doing it, so we can explain why these random like shifting issues happen with these cars.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that is the first step
just
to.
this week. He just figured it out, I guess. I don't know if it's him or if he's using an engineering company, but somebody did.
That's also the first step to finally being able to do a little bit more with this transmission too.
Yep.
Jay Brazelton just got another key tag, so now him and Kevin Reynolds were both tied at 30 entries.
30 entries.
Yeah, Carlos, I did get your reply. So he said, long story short, rear drive axle was failing and almost got him left stranded, but he made it home. Thank God. He's going to make a full video on it, though, because it was interesting to say the least. So I'm not going to talk too much about it.
I can't wait to see his symptoms, because the
reason why we kind of knew what was happening is he sent me some pictures and a sound clip of what was going on. And I was like, dude, my 2020 C8 did that exact same thing when I broke an axle at the drag strip. His sound was a little less pronounced. So I said, it's almost got to be something with your axle. Something's going on. Mine broke, and it was very obvious it was broke. But his, I think, is in the process of, it's almost broken is what's happening there.
Right.
Do they have upgraded axles? I know they have for the Stingray, but does the Z06 have upgraded? I know Z06 does, but do they have anything that's better than the stock Z06?
I haven't seen anything, but the problem with that is if you put beefier axles on there, you're just sending the problem area down to the next weakest component, which is then going to be your transmission.
Yep.
And
that's a good
you break. And the thing is when I broke my axle on the C8 down at the drag strip, if I had to pay out of pocket, the axle from GM was like $125 versus 40 grand for a transmission. Like you definitely want to break the axle.
And that's exactly right. You want to break the axle. You don't want to break the strands. That's right.
That's a good point.
Uh-oh. It looks like Kevin Reynolds got maybe 2 more key tags. Or was that the... No, that was the last time. Okay, so I was going to say, he's definitely going crazy if he did, but let me see, actually. Did he? Huh. All right, so...
Professor's asking about Amber's lyric, if she wanted to chime in. Are you doing that?
What was the question?
Anything new with the lyric?
Yeah, we do have.
That's what's the latest on the lyric.
We do have an update for that, and I'm sorry I keep telling you guys I have an update and that the video is coming, but I promise you a video is coming on that.
Okay.
She still has it, and it made a miraculous comeback. We'll tell you that much, but we'll talk more about it in the future video.
We've been saying.
All right.
I know we have been saying
The
it.
weather's just been crap.
The weather has been awful here, and honestly, mid last week is whenever it finally started to break a little bit. We've had a couple days of nice weather, and hopefully,
And then no showers today.
yeah. Yep, that's Onyx. That big black blot on your screen, that's Onyx. You can almost see his face sometimes. So let me see. I don't think we have any more entries on this, guys, but I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. If you guys want to get in on the giveaway for the Wheelcraft, 2 more minutes. Buy the key tags on Horsepower Obsessed or donate money to the Venmo, to the Horsepower Obsessed channel. One of those 2. Get yourself entered. You got 2 more minutes to do so. Jay says hi.
Hello, Jay.
Yeah, and again, now if anybody's interested in the E5 wheel gift certificate, I'm giving it away. Please email me. I'm not going to use it. Somebody needs to use it, please.
David, if you still have that come Corvettes at Carlisle, I think we could make something cool happen with that.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.
So if by some chance that's still around, we'll figure something out cool with that.
You got it.
All right, so I'm not seeing anything else coming in here, guys. $600 gift certificate. Are you guys sure you want to let this go? Because at this point, it's likely to either be Jay or Kevin that wins it because they have the most entries.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just saying that that's the way it looks
Nate will
on
win with
paper,
one.
but it doesn't. Yeah, Nate has one, so we'll see what happens.
I'm buying Onyx and entry next.
He's
week.
always in this game if he's got one entry.
LT4 Powered says it's going to be
Gotta get
80
secret
degrees on
shoes.
Wednesday. That's good.
I'd
There he
you
is.
know what, Nate, I'd actually like to watch you. I'd actually like to watch you gamble. That would be funny.
50
You know
cents.
that?
Yeah, I have a feeling it's actually probably pretty good.
I know he is.
Keith,
Probably counts cards.
we got Keith in the house here, guys, from Corvette Blogger. Keith, we were actually talking about your car earlier
what's up,
because Wheelcraft is sponsoring the live video for the month of March, and we went on the website and actually saw your Hysteria Purple E-Ray on there with the chrome wheels from Wheelcraft. Is pretty cool looking. So
Yep.
you got a little bit of a conversation happening here. Oh wow! Professor
You know what,
Corvette
at
said
the
it
back,
should
we
be.
need to have a card game.
Professor Corvette said it should be at least $670 or $655 if you have an extension cord. Lewis Z06 says he's betting on Nate. I swear, if Nate wins with one entry,
I know. I'm telling you, man.
I'm gonna disqualify it. I'm just kidding.
The only time Nate is unlucky is when he's at the casino.
Guys, smash the thumbs up button if you're liking the content so far. We're gonna run the wheel of winners here in a second. Yeah, it only takes one entry to win. Absolutely. All right, so.
Right.
I'm kind of anxious to see who wins this week.
Jay, that's a great idea, actually, and I've been working with somebody to get one of those, so that might be coming.
Jason, the clear engine cover giveaway.
Oh yeah.
Keith says they did a great job on his E-Ray. Very easy to get chrome wheels on your Corvette, so there you go. If you guys were a little iffy about the Wheelcraft thing, there's plenty of people who have had it done, and they will all tell you the same thing. It's worth it. So.
Yep.
Did we get Chopper Larry in here? He's in there now. All right, guys. So no more entries. I'm going to be putting this stuff in the wheel here, and then we are going to run it. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to turn the table over to Brandon and David and let them talk to you about something. Hopefully they have something for you.
All right, this sounds obvious, like when I say this, but it wasn't obvious to me. So you guys with the 07 package, if you're doing your 6130 runs, take your spoiler off. That car is quicker
A lot faster.
than the regular base cars with the spoilers on it when you're running like pretty much no aero on the back. We tested that, or I tested that, today. And I got my fastest time 6130 because I swapped on a Z07 bumper, got rid of the rear spoiler, and my car was significantly quicker and pretty much the same DA, and I've made no other changes. So just it sounds obvious,
Oh,
obviously, but if you're going to be doing passes or even at the track, I would take your wing off if you can. It's 4 bolts, just take it off.
Yeah, it takes like 10 minutes.
So
Yeah, no,
actually, on that note, it's kind of funny because GM, and I'll have to try to dig and see if I can find this article. GM said with the C7 ZR1, there was a lot of people doing that. When the car first came out, they were taking off the ZTK wing and doing drag strip pulls. And somebody from Chevy actually flat out said, "Don't do that. It's very dangerous to do that because you're disrupting the car. The aero
I
that's
get
built
that.
into the
Oh,
car." Yeah, and I mean it's interesting because I'm sure you can do it to some degree, but legality wise, I'm sure they have to say that. Don't take those wings off.
And like if you're tracking it, absolutely not. But just for like and I wouldn't do it at 160 because you're probably not going to get any
Right.
any
Rear-
downforce on your rear tires.
Yeah.
But for a 60 to 130,
A quarter
it's-
mile run.
Yeah, for a quarter mile run, I think probably all right.
Yeah, you definitely need that rear end downforce when you're on the track.
Yeah.
But like, I'd take it off for the drag strip all day long, every day. But yeah, no, we actually have gotten some really good results lately. And some
Well,
surprising results with your 60 to 130s. Like really.
Professor Corvette's asking quicker than a non-Z07, Z06. Both of their cars are non-Z07 package. Brandon is actually talking about taking
But-
the spoiler off completely.
Yeah, but what I will say is I guarantee you a Z07 car with the wing off is faster than a non-car because the carbon ceramic brakes make less rotating.
Well,
wedge
you can get the
and
carbon
less
ceramic
drag with the
rotors
wing off.
without a Z07
Yeah.
package car too.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. But that's the difference. Why even if you took the wing off and the 1LZ car was without the Z07 package, would still probably not be as quick because the carbon ceramic brakes. Like his rotors made a huge difference.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's dropping what, like 40, 50, or no,
40 pounds.
40 pounds of unsprung weight. Yeah.
plus the wheels. I mean, Robert Brunn said the same thing though. He said removing the wing unbalances the car, and it does to a certain degree. Like Brandon was saying, don't go 160, 170 miles an hour without your wing on because that could be an issue. But he was doing 60 to 1. He was doing 60 to 130 rolls or whatever, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys got to remember that the arrow really only comes into play pretty much above 150 miles an hour. Anything below that, you're really not. That arrow's not really doing a whole lot below those speeds. Like the Z07 package car, I wanted to say that they rated that at 700 or 800 pounds of downforce, but that's at like 190 miles an hour. Anything below that, of course, is going to rapidly decrease how much weight that is actually providing.
Yeah, it does make a difference. So, and again, we've gotten such surprising results. Like I never in a million years when we got these cars, like we were impressed. They're fast or whatever. But doing 80s, 60 to 130s, you tell me in a year you're going to be doing 6.2. I was like, you're crazy. There's no way. There's no way in here. That's what we're doing. So.
C806 says, Red C806 says, does adding a wing on a car that didn't have a wing to begin with bad? No.
Yes, unless you drive a Honda. No, I'm just playing.
No, it will have the same effect that in my situation where I have a Z07 wing on my car, it's going to have the same effect on that car as it does on a Z07 car, but at the same time, only at 150 plus whatever the.
And back to my point, if you have a front wheel drive car, the wing does zero for you other than slow you down.
Right.
Period. Point blank. Don't ever do it. No.
And also make sure you have the strakes installed. I did that. So literally my car, minus the slightly stiffer suspension from a Z07 package car, is a Z07. It has the strakes. It has the Z07 wing, the Z07 arrow in the front. Everything you need. Yeah, that's a good idea. Make a video of the Z06 non-Z07 versus Z07 with wing removed. See, I told you, David. I get these kind of requests all the time where
I know
comparing the two cars together.
Z07 with the wing removed is going to win.
Yeah, I was saying the Z07 with the wing removed is going to win because it's got less rotating mass. But again, I mean, unfortunately, we're in a situation where we can't compare any car to Brandon's car because Brandon's car is basically the fastest NAZ out there right now. So it just doesn't work. But like your car, that would be a good one for a stock car. You know what I mean? Like we talked about, like your car. And I got a guy I talked to him. He's down. So.
Yeah, so I don't remember who comments that on my channel, but me and David are trying to put it together where all of the mods I've done with my Z06, I'm going to be able to put that up against a completely stock Z06 to see how much on a quarter mile, how much difference those mods made on my Z06 versus a stock one. So, guys, it looks like we're tapped out here on entry, so I'm going to go ahead and spin this wheel for you.
Do it. Come on, big bucks, no whammies.
I'm pulling for Nate.
God, if Nate wins. All right, here we go.
Go, Nate, go.
Who is it? Ooh, it's going to stop.
Oh, it's going to be... No, it's going to be a big one. Who is that?
Who's that from the great?
Oh, nope, Charles.
Who is it?
It rolled into the blue.
All right, there you go. So Charles, I think he's still in here.
Congrats, brother.
Charles, if you're still in here, I need you to send me an email, horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com, and I will get you hooked up with Ed on Wheelcraft to get you $600 gift certificate.
Was his name Charles on the tag?
Yeah, his name is Charles on the screen. Yep.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen him on there. Okay.
And actually, I think, just so you guys know, let me pull it up here, but I'm pretty sure next week. Let's see.
You're not commenting a lot. Did you poop?
Oh, I did.
Did Justin, you say you did? Was that you?
It was me, but I
No,
was
I
not
did.
answering your question. No.
I didn't say it was a whole different question, but it
Oh,
came
that's
out.
Charlie.
It
Yeah.
came out perfect.
It looked like I was looking at you, but I was actually looking at Chris.
You said it. He said no. I told you.
Is Charles still in here? Yes, he is. Okay, so, well, it was Charles.
There
I'm
he
sorry.
is.
I think there's two different Charleses in here. This one was Charles Samarha.
Oh, that's funny.
If that's you, Charles, if that's your last name, let me know. And then just shoot me an email and I'll make sure you get that set up. Now, guys, for next week is the last week of Wheelcraft sponsorship. Ed will be on here to answer questions, and we will be giving away almost a $1,200 gift certificate. So next week is going to be much larger than any of the rest. Plus, we'll have Ed on here. Now, those of you who want to check out Wheelcraft, and even if you didn't win the gift certificate, there is an ongoing $100 discount for mentioning Horsepower Obsessed when you place your order. So if you do want to get something from them, you can save $100 just by saying, "Hey, I saw you on that Horsepower Obsessed thingy-majig," and they'll be able to hook you up with $100 off your wheel PVD coatings. So, okay, yeah, that is you. Shoot me an email then, Charles. horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. I'll get you hooked up with Ed. Real quick before we go, this is a question I feel like I should address here. JC, he says, "Hey Justin, how you doing? It's JC. For some reason, my car has only 300 miles on it, and it says to change the oil soon. What do you think that might be?" So we've talked about this in the past, guys. The oil system on the Corvettes, or really on any cars, it is a combination of mileage driven, how hard the car's been driven, and time. So if you change your oil and let your car sit for an entire year, you're going to start your car up and it's going to tell you need to change the oil. Even though you didn't put any miles on it whatsoever, the time by itself will affect that.
And please do not let your cars sit, guys. I don't care if they're new. I
Yeah.
don't care if they're old. You got to get that oil to the valve seals, the rubber seals in there. They coat it. If you don't, they'll dry out. They'll crack. You'll get leaks. Like, please do not let them sit. And starting them is fine. Letting them get up to temp is fine. But honestly, they need to be under load. You need to drive them some. You need to get them moving.
Professor Corvette, that's a great request. Do me a favor and send me an email, horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com, and send me an email of some things you'd like me to touch on. And I think I can do that next week while we have Ed on here. It literally just talk about some of the transmission maintenance stuff. I made a video about it, but it's always good to talk about it more often than not. Yeah. Professor Corvette says HPO rules YouTube. Again, coming from the professor, I appreciate that. But guys, that's
change it from Professor Corvette to the Professor Corvette.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate all the support as usual. Guys. We will see you guys same time, same place next Monday night. See ya.